This is Just AMZN on Monday, May 20th, 2019, with a look at what happened today. Looks like we had a gap down pre-market, continuing from the rollover that we had from Friday, and really had a sideways day. Just, barely ended up positive on the day, which means we did have a bullish candle, very indecisive, and it is sitting right here where we've got this uptrend drawn in. And so this will be the test really to see, okay, we're going to hold this and bounce, or are we going to break down and go lower? It would be great to see a gap down because I think this could really run to the downside, probably come back pretty quickly to 1747 down here. There's not that much. I mean, you have a couple lows here. If we could take out those lows and gap below 1815, I think it would run basically down to 1747 until you get to this next support. And this is a major support line down here. There's been a lot of interactions, ran into this as resistance here. This was a short-term retest, double retest. This would be a longer-term retest. And then that kind of a pullback would really give us that energy to just bounce off of. And I think a lot of people will be buying down here. If we stay above this level, if we start moving up, I think it's going to look something like one of these, possibly this one moving up more quickly. But it has a long, long, long way to go from this level right here on this edge of this uptrend channel to get to the top. When it did it here, it bounced, it ran there pretty quickly, came right up to this level. And I mean, that was what, 10 days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 10 including this one, but 10 days for it to run up like that. I mean, if it does that in 10 days, we're talking about all-time highs in 10 trading days. That's the potential. And like I said, I'm not really seeing that happen, but I mean, it did it faster here. Let's see. I guess we should really look at what happened each time it came down to the bottom of this, if in fact this is where we're going to bounce from. So that's, we'll count this one this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 trading days up to here. If this channel holds true, in 8 to 10 days, we could be at all-time high. Because I'm just counting the days. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 days is the 31st. The 31st would be the end of this month. So on a monthly, still having that kind of a continuation higher. We'll see if, that could definitely happen with how many bears have gotten into this, loading up here, thinking they're going to push it down like they did here. It's possible. I just don't know if it's going to happen. It would be the kind of decline that we saw like this, coming into this price level, 1747. It's that kind of a move from here down. I mean, we already had a bigger move from here. So the potential is there. It's just a matter of, are there enough bears to continue selling and get that lower? And then once we're down here, I mean, we could still get it back up to this level and get back up to this downtrend channel if this one plays out here. Now, we haven't really seen this one play out entirely yet. We saw this channel working, and we saw this channel working. It doesn't have to work again here, but it could, and the framework is there for it to do that. We could at least have a quick bounce, pause right here, retest this high, retest, pull back from 1972.50, pull back a little bit, get into a level here like this is acting as a resistance, just like it did here. We consolidated for a few days and then we continued higher. That could happen. We could consolidate, for a few days and then pop some more. But I just don't know if we're going to go straight up on this kind of a move. The potential is there. It could totally do it. It would be great to have a squeeze. It looks like we don't have a squeeze going. We've got a low momentum, which we had a very small momentum coming off of this bounce, bigger one coming off of this bounce. And it looks like it's a little bit red. So if that turns tomorrow to yellow, we could really see that momentum shift to be more bullish like these. It happened here from here to here where we had that shift. That was after we had a little bit of a bounce. So the potential is there as well that if we go up a little bit, maybe it doesn't shift, but the next day it could. And then have, this one was during a squeeze, so that helped us move. Have the bigger move, even though we took out the low of this area, not the entire squeeze. We had a lower low here during the squeeze. I'm kind of discounting these two dots, but anyway, for daily, I think the potential is there we could really move. We've got somewhat of a triangle here, lower highs, higher lows. We could consolidate right here for a couple more days, but it's building up momentum that it really should start to move soon. So we'll just have to wait and see if it's going to do it. Back in here into the 5 minute, we had a really great bounce on our price level here at 1841.30. Indecision candle, inverted hammer, come back into an indecision candle right here. You could have been buying right here, right here, right here, right at that level with the target up at this price. And even though it pulled back a little bit, it did get there. This is a really nice S curve. There were some opportunities to get in here. And then it was just choppy the rest of the day. So like the morning, this was it for the move. And it was a really small move compared to some of the things that we've been doing. So, you can also see that, once we broke above the line here at 1863.84, we did it with a hammer and then a breakout, made new highs, and then those got sold and we pulled back. So breakouts weren't really working. Even getting above this high, that got sold back down. Getting above this high, getting above this one, got sold back down and pulled back. So it's like the breakouts just weren't working, and we just ended up going sideways. Now, overall today, we made, here's a low, here's a higher low, here's a higher low, here's a high, here's a lower high, lower high, lower high. So we made that triangle-ish sort of shape. It's just not a very clean one. And it is, like I said, it is a bullish candle. So it's a bullish retest gap if we get higher tomorrow. But for trading this, there was opportunities to buy here and possibly to short from this level, maybe up in here after it's rejecting this, kind of a double top with a longer neckline that just grinds and ends up going down a little bit. And then where would your target have been on that, once it rolls over and goes down, maybe seeing how this consolidation works, and that breaks lower and then lower still, but would you have been exiting right here? It worked to exit on this candle. That's a very similar range. Or were the bears thinking they were going to sell this back down like they did on Friday? There may already be some bears trapped here. They were trying to get in bearish for another rollover, and that didn't happen. So I think it does help that we have a few more bullish candles into the close today than we did on Friday. And let's see, if we look at the calls, let's look at the 1900 calls expiring this Friday. The really cool thing about these are the prices. The low here is 605. The low here is 620, 616, 610, 605 again, 605 again. So this range of these lows was great. It was really tight. Depending on how spready things were, there was definitely the potential there. Maybe you could have even put an order out at 6 and possibly could have been filled, but 625 by, well, I like doing $100, but you could do 625 by 575 because it held it so well, and that is $50. So you can get two options, and you're getting in at 625, and it runs up to 9, and with two of them, it's what's that? 275. Get up 275. Now, would you have exited here? No, probably not, because it's the breakout candle. Probably would have exited over here. Maybe let's just say 825. Let's just say you got in, or you got out around this level after it made a new high, or got above the high there, and so, or I guess maybe right at that high, 825. Probably you're getting out for 2R per contract, so that'd be a 4R trade to get out in this kind of rally. So in just a matter of well under an hour, you did it. Now, if you got in over here, you didn't have the baseline as much, so probably would have been looking for 6 by 5, and then taking that up to probably 7 or 8. probably 7 just because you're getting back up into these highs right here. You don't know if it's going to break out. In this case, it broke out and then sold back down, and you may have been stopped out had you already moved your stop or trailed out. And so, there were some opportunities here to be buying like possibly 6 by 5 or doing, 625 by 525. And the reason I'm saying, going with the full $100 wide is because you don't have as much confidence when it pulls back here. It's like this one, this is a bearish candle. It looks like, okay, if I bought here, it's just going to continue lower. Well, it didn't. It held. This one, this candle, it pulled back so quickly, maybe you weren't able to get filled. And this one turns into a really strong hammer, and it's, or dragonfly doji, something like that. And it's just a matter of, okay, I missed that. This one doesn't get low enough to 625. I'll probably just cancel my trade because it now looks like it's going to roll over, and then you miss this one at 605 or 6. If you set up the trade for 6 or 625, I don't know if the 6 would have been filled. The 525 should have been because the low here was 610, but it depends on how spready things were. But anyway, you possibly did the 625 up to 825, or no, not 825. That didn't work. 625 up to 775, something like that, to the high, probably to the high here, 650. So, you're not gaining huge, but, it is a nice move. This was the bigger move. And then it just chopped. All that, losing a lot of value, getting it back. If we jump into the 1800 puts, I do really like that we based up here. And you could have done on most of these a 5 by 4 trade, and flipped it out for 6 here, and then look, it sets up again and flipped out at 6, and then you would have missed out on the extra R going up to 7. Not too much to do about that if you're just looking to kind of snag a little bit on that kind of a rollover. But it was really nice that it held this. And I know I said there's a bigger triangle like lower highs and a bigger one like this, higher lows. But if you just connect midday, if you connect the highs and lows of this, you should get lower highs, higher lows. You should get a nice consolidation with an apex about right here below 1863.84. So let's drop it in and see, because that would have been a great place. Let's see, there we go. There's one. And this one, I guess it doesn't quite get there. Okay, I'm going to, I'll do one other thing. Oops, let's do this one. If we draw it like this. Okay, if I ignore this one over here, I guess I could do, no, not as much. So just this range right here, great triangle. I really like that it throws an inverted hammer and then it collapses here. It collapsed with a retest. There was opportunities to get into this, even just to scalp a few bucks, scalp half an hour, something like that. Would have been possible there. Just trading what is in front of us. We had a couple lines thrown in. Oh, we get a squeeze here on this one, and that fires. It just didn't really continue on lower. So the triangle worked here. That's probably the best one that we had on the day today here. And then if we zoom back out, we were looking at a triangle going like this and this. So you get a bigger one going down like this, and then a bigger one going up like this, and like this, and like this. There's a lot of different ways to kind of show a triangle consolidating on this on Amazon. And I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see, are we going to consolidate still, or are we going to start to break out or break down? What's going to happen? So should be able to be back with another review tomorrow, and maybe we'll get some direction too. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Just Amazon.